Here we are back at home. I have my Grom back here after our last race. We raced it and it got crashed. So I'm going to make a little video here and talk about what it takes to repair a Grom after a race crash. This one went off the track. Videos posted online of the crash, but most of this, the levers made it out okay. The end of the handlebar, very minor. Minor stuff. I continued to ride the bike after the race. In another session during the race, and it worked okay. It has a few little flaws to be fixed. Most obviously, it went down on the right side, so from the back, you can see that the left-hand foot peg is bent down. The foot peg bracket as well is also bent in because that's the side it crashed on. You see it's closer to the swing arm here. And the plate itself is relatively flat. And I think I can just bend it back into shape and fix the foot peg and the bolt, and we should be good to go. Bodywork. Up here, went down on the right side. It cracked off from here, so that's broken. And there's not really anything holding the side panel on except for the screws at the very front there, and there's two over there. So we need to fix this panel. I think the panel itself is relatively okay. Well, it's cracked there. Cracked up here by the logo. So that piece is, yeah, I think this panel needs to be replaced. That piece needs to be replaced. And then the tail section here is cracked, and it is difficult to see, but looking at the handlebars, you can see this side is a little bit low. Definitely not fitting as stock, but I don't think the frame is damaged. You can see in here the tail section piece of the frame, so this is a little low, but mostly just some plastics repair. Anyway, this is the assessment. Time to go buy some parts online. Over on the right side here, I'm going to cover a couple little additional pieces. This fairing panel here has been crashed a few times by the kids in my neighborhood. Anyway, might as well replace that while we're doing everything else, because the mounting bolt down here is broken. So nothing holding the panel in place really, other than a geometric fit like a jigsaw puzzle. So I'm gonna replace that panel at the same time as well. Save some shipping costs, I guess. Anyway, this is a track bike, so cosmetics don't matter as much as just having something that is reliable and will hold together on track. The seat as well, just FYI. The seat took some scuffs here, tore the strap. It wore off the outer on the seat, but I'm just going to cut that off. And the strap is held on with two screws here, one on each side. So we'll just take the strap off. I'm not binding luggage or anything else to the Grom. It's a track bike. That's the plan. Okay, so what I've done here was I went to Rocky Mountain. You can use any site you prefer. This is just a nice little example. I looked up my Honda Grom and I pulled up the parts to add. So going through the list one by one here, I have nuts, various fasteners to hold the parts on. Various bolts here. I have ordered multiple quantities because I'm replacing some of the old rusted bolts, screws, etc. So we have a bunch of small items here. As we work down the list here, we start getting into the first item here, which is the shroud on the right side of the fuel tank. This is the one that had some holes in it, so I'm just choosing to replace it. As you can see, the price is about $20 for the single panel on each side, so this is much better than what you typically encounter for most motorcycles. So keep in mind Grom prices. If you look up these parts on eBay, usually sellers are selling used parts for more than the cost of a brand new part here. Anyway, this does show that you have some of the items are on back order. But if you work through, the next one on the list is the left side cover. I'm sorry, this is the cover for the windscreen area in front. It's right above the number plate. It is the piece that attaches to the speedometer assembly. Anyway, mine was all scraped up and had a lot of rash on it. So it's a $15 part. So you can see these parts are much more affordable than most motorcycles. This is a shroud cover on the left side, small plastic piece. That entire fuel tank cover that was cracked on the left side, so the fairing was falling off, $7, $8 actually. Working down, next item is the tail section, the center piece in the tail section above the tail light, $11. And then also the tail section on the left and right side of the seat, $20 each, so not too bad. Our final total here is about $150, $160. The key here was I'm replacing some of the parts that I don't necessarily have to be able to track this motorcycle, but free shipping over a certain value. So adding the parts now helps get free shipping and save a little money later, so I will be ordering those now. So again, about $160 to repair all that crash damage, plus some of the neglected items like those rusted fasteners and things like that. So this gives an idea of what it costs to repair a Grom. The work to do this usually takes about 2 weeks to get parts, so hopefully in a couple weeks we'll have the Grom back on the road.